Welcome, curious minds, to another deep dive. Have you ever looked at the alphabet soup of vitamins on a nutrition label and just wondered what they actually do for your body? Or perhaps you felt, inexplicably sluggish, maybe some brain fog, or battled constant cravings despite eating what you thought was a healthy diet, and you're suspecting there's a missing piece to your energy and wellness puzzle.
Well, today we're pulling back the curtain on those tiny titans, the B vitamins and a few other essential micronutrients too. We're going to unpack the science from sources like the Cleveland Clinic, Harvard Health, leading wellness experts, really understand how these seemingly small compounds are vital catalysts for, well, everything from your daily energy and metabolism right through to your sharpest cognitive function.
Exactly. Our mission for you today is a shortcut, really, to being truly well-informed about these crucial nutrients. We'll explore not just what each B vitamin does, but why it matters, how much you need the best food sources, and crucially, when, or maybe if, strategic supplementation becomes a smart part of the equation. Get ready for some surprising facts and practical insights that could truly fuel your body's full potential, help you unlock that missing piece. So let's dive straight into the foundational elements, the B complex. It's not just one vitamin, is it? It's a whole family of 8.
Right.
Imagine your body as like a high-performance vehicle. These B vitamins aren't just spare parts. They're the vital coenzymes making the engine roar.
Precisely. They make things run smoothly. Without them, that sluggish feeling makes a lot more sense. The main thing most B vitamins do is act as, well, metabolic maestros. They help turn the food we eat, carbs, fats, proteins, into the actual energy your body can use.
Okay.
They activate enzymes. These are proteins that speed up essential chemical reactions.
Like metabolism, DNA repair.
Exactly. Metabolizing food,
Yeah.
building and repairing DNA, growing healthy blood cells. If you're deficient in any of them, your body just becomes much less efficient at getting that fuel from your meals.
And a quick clarification, because people might be counting, we're talking 8 B vitamins because B4, B8, B10, B11, that
Yeah.
they're not classed as vitamins anymore.
Great. That's correct. Yeah. A bit like Pluto, they were sort of reclassified. They were found not to fit the stringent criteria for vitamin status,
Yeah.
meaning they aren't compounds essential for life that your body can't make on its own. Interesting compounds, sure, but not vitamins in the strict sense.
Got it. And a key thing about these B vitamins is that they're water soluble mostly. What does that mean practically?
It means your body doesn't really store them for long, so you generally need to consume them daily, for the best effects.
Okay. Daily intake.
With one notable exception,
Uh-huh.
vitamin B12. Your liver can actually store that one, sometimes for years.
Okay, so that one's different.
But for most of the B complex, yeah, consistent daily intake is important.
Right. So let's zoom in then. Let's look at each of these metabolic workhorses, their specific roles. First up, thiamine, B1. Takes you back to high school biology, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. Thiamine is fundamental. It helps your body convert food into adenosine triphosphate, ATP.
The energy currency.
Exactly, the direct energy currency your cells use. Think of mitochondria as tiny power plants. Thiamine's the crucial engineer, making sure those plants convert your meals into the raw energy that powers, well, everything, thinking, moving.
So if you feel that brain fog or muscle fatigue,
Yeah.
B1 could be involved.
It's directly tied to that fundamental energy conversion, yeah. So it's worth considering.
Okay, and the good news is no upper limit for toxicity with B1.
That's right. It's generally very safe, unlike some others we'll talk about.
Okay.
But while excess isn't harmful, deficiency can cause serious issues. Nerve and muscle problems, swelling, coordination loss, confusion.
Right. So where do we find it? Food sources.
Good sources are things like fortified breakfast cereals, enriched egg noodles, pork chops, black beans, cooked trout, even enriched English muffins.
Okay. Moving on to riboflavin, B2.
Riboflavin B2 plays a similar, really vital role in energy production and metabolism. What's particularly interesting here is it also acts like a team captain for the other B vitamins.
Oh, really? How so?
It helps activate them, ensures they're doing their jobs effectively, especially B6 and folate.
Ah, a team player. That's great. And thankfully, like Simon, no upper toxicity limit.
Correct. Very safe. And deficiency is quite rare in the U.S., thankfully.
Good to know. Where can we find B2?
It's commonly found in animal products, meat, dairy, so plain yogurt, milk, beef tenderloin are excellent. Also, fortified breakfast cereals again, and almonds have some too.
Next step, niacin, B3. I hear this one mentioned for energy, but also skin health.
That's right. Niacin B3 is used all over the body. Transfers energy from food to ATP, yes, but also helps create and repair your DNA. And yeah, interestingly, it's a star ingredient in some skincare products.
Why's that?
It's touted for anti-aging effects, helping with eczema, acne, mostly due to its anti-inflammatory properties.
Okay, interesting connection. But I've also heard niacin comes with a pretty significant warning, especially with supplements.
Yes, this is a critical point. While it's essential, taking niacin in very large amounts, particularly from supplements, can be risky. It commonly causes what's called a niacin flush.
Right, the redness and itching.
Exactly. Temporary, but can be intense, warmth, redness, itchiness, and more seriously, really excessive doses can lead to liver damage.
Wow. Okay, so stick to food sources mostly.
For most people, absolutely. Food first.
You mentioned pellagra earlier, the historical deficiency. That's fascinating. Are there subtle signs today or risk factors beyond just diet?
Well, historically, pellagra was huge, especially those corn-based diets where the niacin wasn't available unless processed correctly. Indigenous cultures figured that out thousands of years ago, amazingly.
Wow.
Today, severe deficiency is less common in developed countries, but conditions like alcohol use disorder or inflammatory bowel disease, they can really increase the risk. Symptoms can range from skin issues, diarrhea, and in severe cases, even dementia.
So for getting enough through diet, what are the top foods?
You'll find good amounts in chicken breast, turkey breast, salmon, canned tuna, pork tenderloin, also brown rice, fortified cereals.
Okay. Moving to B5, pantothenic acid. The name itself gives a clue, right? Everywhere.
Indeed. Pantos is Greek for everywhere, and it really lives up to it. It's in so many foods. It's essential for making coenzyme A, which helps enzymes build and break down fatty acids. You also see it in skincare, hair care products, often for moisturizing.
Good news again. Like B1 and B2, no upper limit established.
Wow.
And deficiency is rare.
That's right. Very uncommon if you're getting enough calories overall.
And food sources.
Fortified breakfast cereal is a big one. Shiitake mushroom, sunflower seeds, chicken breast, bluefin tuna.
Now, B6, pyridoxine. This one sounds like a real workhorse,
Sure.
involved in tons of functions.
It really is. B6 is involved in over 100 enzyme reactions, a true metabolic multitasker. One crucial role is managing homocysteine.
Right, you mentioned that can be problematic if it builds up.
Exactly. Think of it like sticky stuff clogging your arteries. B6 helps break it down, kind of cleans the pipes. Crucial for preventing blood clots, heart issues. Plus, it supports metabolism generally, immune function, brain health. Very important.
But this one also comes with that serious warning about supplements, doesn't it?
It does. Critical warning here.
Yeah.
Excessive amounts of B6, over 100 milligrams a day, usually only from supplements.
Right, not from food.
Right. That can actually cause neuropathy,
Nerve damage.
leading to loss of body movement control, tingling sensations. It's a classic case of too much of a good thing being harmful. So prioritize food sources.
Definitely. So what are those key food sources for B6?
Excellent sources include canned chickpeas, really high. Also yellowfin and sockeye salmon, roasted chicken breast, fortified cereals again, boiled potatoes, bananas, even marinara sauce.
Okay. Next, biotin B7. The beauty vitamin, right?
Yeah.
Hair, skin, nails. Is that mostly hype or is there real science there?
It's a great question. Biotin has been shown to help with brittle nail syndrome in some studies. But for general hair or nail issues in most people, actual biotin deficiency probably isn't the root cause.
Ah, so it could be something else.
More likely underlying things like, say, iron deficiency or maybe certain medications. However, biotin does genuinely assist enzymes breaking down fats, carbs, proteins, and it helps cells communicate based on genetic instructions. So its role is real, just maybe the beauty claims are a bit overhyped unless you're truly deficient.
Got it. Realistic expectations. And safety-wise, no upper limit.
Correct. No established upper limit for safety. But there's another unique warning with biotin, isn't there? Yes, this is important. Biotin supplements, especially high doses, can interfere with certain medical lab tests,
Like what?
particularly hormone tests, cardiac tests. It can give falsely high or low results. So definitely tell your doctor if you're taking biotin before any lab work.
Crucial tip. And food sources for biotin.
Eggs are good, pink canned salmon, pork, hamburger patties, roasted sunflower seeds, sweet potato, roasted almonds.
Okay, moving on to B9. Folate from food. Folic acid in supplements. This one is huge GE for pregnancy.
It is, and for incredibly important reasons. B9 is absolutely critical, especially in early pregnancy, for the proper formation of the neural tube.
That becomes the brain and spine.
Exactly. If folate levels are low during those crucial early days, the risk of severe birth defects like spina bifida goes up significantly.
So vital. But even outside of pregnancy, folate does a lot for everyone, right?
Oh yes. Helps form DNA and RNA, metabolizes protein, helps break down that homocysteine again along with B6 and B12, and keeps red blood cells healthy. Very important.
But there's a caution with B9 supplements too related to another B vitamin.
Yes, another important interaction. Taking high doses of folic acid supplements for long periods can actually mask the symptoms of a vitamin B12 deficiency.
Why is that dangerous?
Because if a B12 deficiency goes undetected, it can lead to irreversible neurological damage. So generally, high-dose folic acid is mainly advised for those who are or might become pregnant or under specific medical guidance.
Okay, makes sense. And dietary sources of folate.
Lots of leafy greens, so boiled spinach is great. Black-eyed peas, fortified cereals and white rice, asparagus, Brussels sprouts, even spaghetti, romaine lettuce, avocado, lots of good options.
All right, last B vitamin, but definitely not least, B12 cobalamin, a real heavy hitter, you said.
Absolutely. B12 helps form red blood cells, DNA, and it's vital for organ and brain function. And here's the serious part. A B12 deficiency can cause irreversible brain and nerve damage. And it can be trickier for some people to get enough.
Especially, I understand, for vegans and vegetarians.
Yes, that's a primary group. Also, individuals who've had bariatric surgery, people on certain medications like metformin, and often adults over 65, as absorption can decrease with age.
Why specifically vegans and vegetarians?
Because vitamin B12 is found naturally almost exclusively in animal products.
Ah.
That's why people who don't eat animal products are generally advised to take a B12 supplement. Relying only on fortified foods might not be consistent or sufficient.
Right. And for those who do eat animal products, what are the best sources?
Cooked clams are incredibly rich. Fortified nutritional yeast is a good vegan option, but check the label. Atlantic salmon, canned light tuna, ground beef, milk, plain yogurt, eggs.
Okay, so that covers the B complex powerhouse. It's clear they're vital. But you mentioned they don't work in isolation. Other micronutrients are critical too, right? For energy, metabolism, brain function.
Absolutely. They're part of a bigger team. We definitely need to talk about vitamin D.
The sunshine vitamin.
Often called that, yeah. But it acts more like a hormone in the body. And low levels are strongly linked to things like insulin resistance.
Which affects blood sugar control.
Right. And increased fat storage, especially that stubborn belly fat. It can even impact leptin, the hormone that signals fullness.
So low D might make you feel hungrier.
Potentially less satisfied after eating, yeah. And many people are deficient. Indoor lifestyles, limited sun exposure, it's a common issue.
The Mayo Clinic also highlights the bone health connection, right? Thin, brittle bones with deficiency.
Osteomalacia or osteoporosis risk increases.
And certain groups are at higher risk. People with obesity, darker skin tones, older adults.
Yes, all those factors can affect vitamin D production or levels. The recommendation is generally 600 IU daily for adults, maybe 800 IU for those over 70.
Is it easy to get from food?
It's challenging from food alone. Fatty fish like salmon helps, fortified milk or yogurt, some plant milks, some mushrooms treated with UV light.
And supplements.
Supplements exist, but studies haven't really shown that very high levels help more. And too much, especially from supplements, can cause problems like calcium buildup. So avoiding megadoses is key.
Right. Moderation. Okay, what else works with the bees? You mentioned magnesium earlier.
Magnesium, often called nature's relaxant. It's a mineral involved in over 300 enzyme reactions.
Wow.
Including energy production, glucose metabolism, nerve, and muscle function. It really works hand in hand with the B vitamins. Deficiency can show up as things like frustrating sugar cravings, persistent fatigue, muscle cramps, making healthy habits feel much harder.
Where do we find magnesium?
Leafy greens like spinach are great. Almonds, black beans, even dark chocolate. A good excuse there.
Always good. And for energy and vitality, we absolutely have to mention iron.
Cannot forget iron. Crucial for carrying oxygen to your cells. Think of red blood cells as delivery trucks.
And iron is key to loading the oxygen.
Exactly. Iron deficiency, anemia, means fewer oxygen deliveries. That leads directly to extreme fatigue, weakness, pale skin. It directly impacts your ability to exercise, to burn calories effectively.
Makes sense.
Sources: lean red meat, poultry, fish, fortified cereals, lentils, spinach too.
Okay. Then there's vitamin C. More than just for colds.
Oh, much more. It's a powerful antioxidant, helps reduce inflammation, supports your stress response, your adrenal glands use a lot of vitamin C. It's also involved in making carnitine,
which helps burn fat.
helps transport fats into the cells to be burned for energy.
Yeah.
So indirectly, yes, found in citrus fruits, bell peppers, broccoli, strawberries.
Great. And finally, a couple of minerals maybe less talked about. Zinc and chromium.
Both play key roles in insulin function and glucose metabolism. Zinc is also vital for immunity and wound healing. Chromium specifically is known to enhance insulin sensitivity. Helps your cells take up sugar from the blood better.
Might help with sugar cravings, too.
Some evidence suggests it might, yeah. Zinc is in oysters, red meat, pumpkin seeds, chromium in whole grains, broccoli, green beans.
Okay, so with all these vital roles and the potential for deficiencies we've discussed, the big question arises. Should we all be reaching for supplements? A B complex, a multivitamin.
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? And it's, well, nuanced. The general advice from experts, like registered dietitian Natalie Romito, is definitely food first. Ideally, get your nutrients from whole foods.
Because food offers more than just the vitamins.
Exactly. You get fiber, antioxidants, phytonutrients, a whole synergistic package that supplements just don't replicate.
The food first principle.
No.
But you mentioned exceptions, situations where supplements are a smart move.
Definitely. There are clear cases. Women who are pregnant or might become pregnant absolutely need that prenatal vitamin with folic acid. That's non-negotiable for preventing birth defects. And people who don't eat animal products or fortified foods consistently really should consider a B12 supplement. It's just too hard to get otherwise.
Makes sense. What about a general multivitamin for everyone else? The advice seems to be shifting a bit there.
It has, yeah. There was a recent large clinical trial published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition. It suggested that taking a standard multivitamin mineral supplement, an NVM, might actually help delay cognitive decline in older adults.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So experts like Dr. Howard Lewine from Harvard, who used to be kind of neutral, now lean more towards recommending a daily MVM for most adults. He calls it relatively inexpensive, quite safe dietary insurance.
Dietary insurance, I like that. Any caveats?
He does note men should generally look for MVMs without iron, unless their doctor specifically recommends it. Too much iron can be an issue for men.
Okay. And what about individual supplements, like bumping up vitamin D?
Yeah, Dr. Lewine suggests considering an extra 1,000 IU of vitamin D daily or every other day, especially for older adults. Standard multivitamins often only have around 400 IU, and getting enough D from diet and sun is tough for many.
But this is where it gets really crucial and maybe a bit counterintuitive for some listeners. More is not always better with supplements.
Absolutely not. This is so important.
We see those bottles with 2,000%, 5,000% of the daily value.
That can be actively harmful. Remember the niacin flush and potential liver issues.
Right.
Or the B6 nerve damage from excessive intake.
Yeah, neuropathy.
And even if not directly toxic, like with biotin, megadoses can mess up important medical tests.
So supplements can fill gaps, but need to be used wisely.
Precisely.
Thoughtfully.
So the ultimate takeaway on supplements.
Always, always best to talk with a qualified healthcare professional. Get tested if needed, get personalized advice. They can identify specific deficiencies, guide the right dose, and check for any interactions with your health or medications. Don't just guess or grab the highest dose off the shelf. Excellent advice. So let's bring it all together. What does this mean for you, the listener? How do you ensure you're getting that full vitamin advantage for energy, clarity, well-being?
It really comes down to a holistic approach. Maybe think of it as a 7-pillar strategy. First and foremost, prioritize whole, colorful foods. Eating the rainbow isn't just a saying. It's the best way to get that broad spectrum of nutrients and all the extras.
Right. So focusing on whole grains, nuts, seeds, leafy greens, lean meats, eggs, fish for those Bs, fatty fish, fortified foods for D, leafy greens, nuts, dark chocolate for magnesium.
Exactly. Second, consider strategic targeted supplementation, but as we said, with professional guidance. Food first, but fill specific, identified gaps like veganism and B12 or low sun exposure and D.
Okay. Third pillar.
Support your gut health. You can eat the best diet, but if your gut isn't healthy, you won't absorb those nutrients efficiently. So fiber, probiotics from fermented foods, managing inflammation.
Yeah.
Crucial.
Makes sense. Fourth.
Cook smartly. Remember, B vitamins and vitamin C are water-soluble and heat-sensitive.
So don't boil them to death.
Pretty much. Opt for steaming, stir-frying, quick cooking methods. Preserve those nutrients.
Good tip. Fifth.
Stay hydrated. Simple but vital. Water is essential for every metabolic process, nutrient transport, everything.
Sixth.
Manage stress. Chronic stress really depletes certain vitamins, especially B vitamins and vitamin C, needed by your adrenal glands. Find what works for you. Mindfulness, exercise, whatever.
And finally, seventh pillar.
Optimize lifestyle factors. Sleep and regular exercise. They aren't separate things. They profoundly enhance how your body uses vitamins, balance hormones, support overall metabolic health.
It's all connected.
Completely. By focusing on these pillars, you're not just, dieting or taking pills. You're actively upgrading your body's internal machinery for optimal performance, making sure every cell runs smoothly. It's so clear these tiny titans, these vitamins and minerals, are doing these mighty jobs behind the scenes. When they're in short supply, your body really struggles to reach its best state. Empowering your body with enough isn't just about feeling a bit better, it's about a ripple effect across your entire well-being.
Yeah, you'll likely notice better energy, maybe fewer cravings, improved mood, sharper focus, stronger immunity, a metabolism that actually responds. This deep dive really shows that missing piece we talked about. It often lies right here, in these fundamental micronutrients, not some complicated exotic fix. So a question for you listening: based on what you've learned today, what's maybe one small vitamin-rich food you're excited to add to your plate this week? Something you hadn't thought much about before.
Or perhaps more importantly, what specific question about your health, your potential needs, might this conversation spark for you? A question to bring to your own doctor or healthcare provider. Remember, every nutrient-dense choice you make is a really powerful step towards a stronger, healthier, and just more vibrant you.